Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Give It a Voice here at the Voice of Hope Media with AC Mbeng. Hi everyone, you're welcome to this special edition of Let's Give It a Voice here at the Voice of Hope Media. I am AC Mbeng. Today is a very special edition of Let's Give It a Voice, where we are going to be talking about mental health. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the theme for this year is nature. It is worth noting that nature has it has a significant role to play as far as our mental health is concerned. So today on our show, we have a very special lady. She's called Patience. I will be introducing her very soon. It is often said that when someone breaks the arm or the leg, people rush to them either to sign their cast or to rush them to the hospital. But when one's brain is broken, what happens? No one seems to care. No one actually thinks that they should take you to the hospital, or no one actually rushes you to an emergency unit. All we hear is it's all in your mind. You have to get over it. You're just being lazy, you're just being frustrated, you're just being sad. Why does it happen that way? Why is there a lot of stigma as far as mental health is concerned? Why is it still regarded as a taboo topic? Here at the Voice of Hope Media, we aim to give a voice to those issues most often considered as taboo, emotional, sensitive, or those issues which people think they shouldn't be spoken or talked about in the public. Mental health happens to be one of those issues. And on our studios today, we have a lady who has first-hand experience as far as mental health is concerned. Everyone has mental health, but not everyone has a mental health problem. Many of us know that a mental illness is not something that's physical, which may be the reason why oftentimes people do not seem to understand if somebody says, I am struggling with my mental health. Because you can't see it does not always mean that it is not there. We are not responsible for a depression or for any mental health problems that we have. However, we are responsible for how we are going to take care of ourselves. We are the ones to seek help. We are the ones to look and feel better again. We need to be healthy. We need to be happy. So it is our responsibility. It is your responsibility to take care of ourselves. Depression may delay our dreams, but depression will never deny your destiny. So I just want to introduce our special guest today. You're welcome on the show today, Patience, and it's a pleasure having you today. And thank you once more for honoring this invite. And we also have a special guest who appeared here. He's Patient's son, and we are so grateful that he's also taking part on our show today. So if you are watching, we are tuned live on Facebook and also on our YouTube channel. So you share, invite your friends, and let them watch so as to learn, so that when you listen to Patience's story, you will know that you are not alone. You will learn to speak up, you will learn to speak out, and you will know that you will be heard and you won't be stigmatized or judged. So over to you, Patience, and thank you once more.
It's a pleasure to actually be here today talking with you as compared to 2018. And to be honest, when you walked in this morning, I didn't want to say it because I didn't want your mind to be ready. I remember you walking in with a purple hair tie and a black dress on that fateful day that I called to say I just needed air. So when you walked in this morning, I looked at that purple hair tie, I looked at that dress, but the difference today is you had a smile on your face. But on that day, you had this concerned look. And that's the only thing I remember. And I remember the fact that you actually took me in your car. And to be honest, you might have to tell me after this live show what I actually said because I cannot remember. And that has stayed with me. Like, honestly, I hope I don't cry. I don't try not to because I've got makeup on and I don't want to ruin it. Honestly, you have been, I honestly don't know how to put it in words, like a role model, and to see someone who has got her own issues, her own struggles, and being there for people has actually you've actually been a great inspiration to me. So my name is Patience Abonge. I'm married with 2 kids. I'm in the UK, based in the UK. And Sister Clarice, as I call her, is a role model. And I think I've had other podcasts, and to be here live with her, it really, really means a lot to me. And I hope this show is going to, you're going to take something from this show by the end of it that is going to impact your life, or it's going to, create an awareness to you on how to treat any family member or friend, or just someone out there in the public that needs any or such help when it comes to mental health or mental illness.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Do you realize that you've actually talked about me? I want you to talk about patience. Anyway, the story which patient talked about, I didn't realize that I had the same headscarf, purple headscarf, and a black dress that I had that fateful day. Yes, this is a story which patients and myself, we had already known each other before, but that day I had just come back from a night shift and I wanted to sleep before getting up to pick up the boys from school, and I had a phone call. So I asked Pei, "Are you okay?" Pei said, "No." So I asked, "What's the problem?" All Pei said is, "I need to see you. I want you here right now." I was confused and I didn't know exactly. So I said, "I just came back from work. I have to sleep because I have to go and pick up the boys from school." All Pei said to me was, "I just need to see someone. I'm in an institution." So I had to sit down on the bed, and all I said to patients was that I am on my way. Because when I thought about it, I said, it could be me. It could be any other person. It could be you. It could be my child. It could be any person in that institution. And I didn't really know exactly what was going on with her, what was going on in her mind, or the thoughts that she had. But all I needed to do was to follow her instructions. There, she wanted to see someone. And driving into London for 2 hours in traffic after a 12-hour night shift. I don't know how I did it, but I think God led the way. And here we are today, smiling, and I'm just happy that we are somewhere all happy. Like I said initially, feeling better, feeling good about ourselves, regaining our health is our responsibility when you've been hit with a mental health problem. We may not be responsible for that mental health issue, but it is our responsibility to feel better and to seek the help that we need. So I really want to know more about patients now. We will still come back to that story. Who is patient? And just before she really introduces herself, the makeup you see today, the attire we have on today, the hairstyle. So Patience is a makeup artist, and she's also a hairdresser. And then she's a fashion designer as well, because she just dressed me up. Yeah, as you can see, she just dressed me up in all African attire. So that's why we are looking all glammed up. So Pay, tell us about your journey being a hairdresser, and then before we go down to the rest.
Um, my name's again Patience Abonge. I was born in Cameroon. I've come from the northwest region of Cameroon, and I lived in Germany for 6 years with my husband, and we moved to the UK. So I've been in the UK since 2016. So while in Germany, while I was in Germany, I did hairdressing as a part-time job, which is something I really love doing. And moving over to the UK is something I still did for a side hustle. So I am a mom, I am a support worker, I am a hairdresser as a side hustle, and now I am a mental health advocate and an advocate for traumatized kids, because I'm coming from a place of experience, and looking in our community, I think there's a gap or a need for that awareness when it comes to mental health issues. which has to do a lot with trauma, because from my experience, I think trauma is one of a very big issue in our community that needs awareness, so we can reduce the number of suicide that we find in our communities today, and equally the number of mental health issues that we've got. So my hope is for people to understand that mental health should be spoken about, just like we talk about headaches, just like we talk about physical health issues. So yeah.
Absolutely. Mental health is a topic, it's an illness, it's a condition, it's a medical condition that has to be spoken about. I remember a few days ago, someone actually, in someone's post, the person was very angry that a mental health issue has been described as a disorder, as a disease, or as an illness. I was actually surprised because when a mental health issue or problem becomes chronic, you need the attention of a medical doctor.
Exactly.
You need treatment, you need medication, and that's how it becomes medical at some point. So mental health condition is equally a medical health condition that need equal attention. Mental health has to be a topic on each and everyone's lips, in our homes, in our churches, in our schools, in our communities, because no one is exempt. You may say, it doesn't concern me, but you may have a friend, you may have a brother, a sister, a mom who is struggling. The only difference is that some of them, most people do struggle in silence. Sometimes people show signs, sometimes people say things that actually indicate that they are struggling with their mental health, but we shush them down. We don't want them to talk about. We tell them, get over it. They're just giving excuses. It's high time we started listening when people speak up about the mental health problems. It's high time we started giving them that listening ear when they tell you, I am struggling, when they tell you, I cannot get out of bed this morning, when they say, I don't feel like doing what I used to do, that I used to like before. Listen and ask the necessary questions, advise them, encourage them to seek necessary
Let me
help.
just step in into what you think. I think the reason why a lot of people don't take mental health illness seriously is because not everyone has experienced mental health illness. Like you rightly said, we all have mental health issues, whereby people confuse those issues to mental health illness. And so everyone has experienced cold. Everyone has experienced a cold.
Yeah.
So much so that when you say, I've got a cold, everyone knows what it feels like. But when you say, I've got a mental health illness, you've not experienced it. So it doesn't sound serious to you. So I want to think that is where people are coming from, because they think they've not experienced it. They don't know what it feels like. So they act out of ignorance. Their reactions to me comes like ignorance, which is something that I think if more people speak up or share their experiences and make it normal, like we normalize saying I am depressed, and then people take it seriously, because people die from mental health illness. People are dying. People commit suicide. That's mental illness. It's as a result of mental illness that people commit suicide. No one in their right minds will commit suicide.
Exactly. And thank you so much for that additional information. Here at the Voice of Hope Media, we encourage people to share their stories. We encourage individuals to speak up, speak out, knowing that they will be heard and they won't be judged or stigmatized. We also know that every experience lived is worthy, it is valuable, and it has the power to transform your life. And when you give a voice to these experiences, it's a way of seeking help. It's a way, it's a form of healing, because they normally say a problem shared is half solved. So when you are sharing, you are either healing yourself indirectly, helping to heal another person out there, and also telling another person out there who is affected that you are not alone. I am here with you.
Yeah.
We can walk this journey together. Sharing does not mean that you are doing a pity party,
No.
or you want people to pity you or to say, oh, I'm sorry for what you went through. Yes, it can equally be said, but you are speaking from a point of someone who has found their voice. You found your voice, and you've seen that it is necessary to help others, to provide the services that you didn't have when you were struggling. And so how does it feel? I know it's not been long that you started sharing your story on Facebook. How does it feel opening up, and what are the reactions from the public?
To be very honest, before I put out my story, I was mentally ready, because my perception of life is not everyone has lived my experience. I have not lived everyone's experience. So sharing my story is to connect to the people, or to get to the people who relate to that story. So I'm talking to a particular group of people, the people experiencing what I've experienced. So if there's any negative comments or anything that anyone says out there, to be honest, I'm not talking to that person who doesn't find the story worth watching, or finds anything not appealing to them. So, but I've had a lot of positive reactions from the public, especially people who are going through mental health illness. There are people who have contacted me to say they did not even know that this is what they were facing. They didn't know how to name what they were experiencing, the name to give what they were experiencing. Yeah. But just watching the videos that I've been putting out there, they can identify with some of the things that they are experiencing. Now they know, oh, this is anxiety, oh, this is depression. And those reactions actually makes me to feel, okay, this is the right thing I did. Yeah. These are the people I honestly wanted to reach them, because I remember while I was in hospital, if I had such support from people out in the community like yourself, more people, I think we will get people suffering from mental health illness would heal faster. They'll heal faster than the time that they normally take to heal. Yeah. Because if you have that one person that understands you, or understands what you're talking, or where you're coming from, especially when it has to do with mental illness, it helps for your recovery. Yeah. I'll go back to your story. I actually spoke to my friend before I'm putting it out here. And anything I say out here that you can relate, to be honest, I'm just creating an awareness, just so the public actually understands where someone who has got mental health illness is coming from. Before I called you on this day, that was in December of 2018, while I was in a mental institution. Then I wasn't really used to you. I'd done your hair once and that was it. So I did not really, let me say, know you like I know you now. Yeah. On this day, I called my friend and I said to her, please, I just need to get out of here, because I was exhausted. I couldn't breathe, to be honest. Like, that's how I can describe it. Yeah. And trust me, I had to leave the hospital the next day to come home. But I needed to leave that hospital on that day. Like, I just needed to go out. If I had something in that room, I would have killed myself. That was the point at which I was. And when I called my friend, I told her, please, can you come and take me out? Because friends and family members are allowed to take your patients out. Yeah. And she said, oh, she cannot make it. Let me just persevere until tomorrow. I was crying. I said, please, I need to get out of here. But I know she really loves me. Do you get it? But she didn't understand the extent to which my mental health could push me at. Yeah. The only thing saving me in there was because I didn't have anything to harm myself. I looked around, and when I brought this story to her, I said to her, I think you felt that I was being protected in that institution. Yeah. Yes, I was in an institution, but then I was still feeling lonely. Yeah. So I just needed someone familiar to take me out of that building. And when she did not come, and then I had to call you, You said you took 2 hours, but with my psychotic mind at the time, it took minutes for you to get there. Just because in my head I knew you were coming, and to me, when I turned around, I saw you. That's how my mind. So I'm even getting from you that it took 2 hours, but the hope that I had to know that you were coming, or someone familiar is coming to get me out of here. That took seconds to me, and it made a difference, because your presence till the time you left, till the time I left that institution, I had hope for that length of time.
Yeah.
Of which, if I didn't see any familiar face come in there, trust me, like I said, if I had a way of taking my own life that day, because I was frustrated and I was so exhausted. So I said to my friend, I know you love me, but if you had the information that I had an accident, you would have left your job, right? She said yes. I said, if you were told I died, you would have left your job, right? She said yes. I said, I'm using this example just to make you understand that people commit suicide because you cannot see their minds. You cannot see how exhausted they are. And that is the point at which they just take their own life, not because they really want to die, but because they can't handle it anymore. Yeah, so.
Yeah, many do say all they wanted to do is to end the pain, is to end the suffering. Pain and suffering which other people will not see, unless you have an idea of how it feels like. That day you called, I felt I had to put myself in your position. You've talked about awareness, being aware. It's very, very important. Being aware of what is troubling you, of what you are going through. It's one step to seeking help or healing as well. So I came because I was aware of what you were going through. I may not have known the severity, but coming from someone who has had postnatal depression before, I know how it feels like when you are struggling with your mental health. I know how it feels like just sitting there, and all you want, all you wish, or all you crave for is someone to ask you, are you okay? Even though you don't look okay, but you just need someone to hold your hand and ask you, are you okay? But there are many times where people don't know that that's all you need to hear. That's all you want someone to ask you. So when individuals decide to open up and speak and give a voice to that which has been troubling them, we listen, we learn. Because one thing I've learned from my own experiences is that experience is what you gain when you didn't get what you wanted. And when you've gained this experience, you use it to help others out there, which is exactly what Patience is doing. And she's become an advocate for others struggling with their mental health. Now, was it easy asking or seeking for help? How did it feel like?
Do you mean in the community?
In the community, professionals? How was the process?
Yes, I had, because I experienced all the mental illnesses which has to do with psychosis, bipolar, anxiety, and a major depression. So I had those illnesses in 2000. I experienced those in 2016.
Yeah.
So during my recovery, which the whole of 2017, I didn't leave my house or leave the house because I was majorly depressed. So I was ill the whole of 2017, and I started regaining myself in 2018. So the whole of 2018, from January, that's when I was feeling like myself again.
Yeah.
So I had a support worker from that period of time. So I had medical support. I had this support worker that was supposed to be with me for 3 years. So that's 2017. 2018, I went into relapse again. So I still had this support with me. I had a psychologist as well. And yeah, they were really supportive because I had them for 3 years. They used to come around, check on me, and offer me any support that I wanted. Now, in my own community, because it's something first of all, it's a taboo topic for people to hear that you're mentally ill. So I was ill, but again, I think maybe because I see myself as someone who is very strong, I did not want people to feel sorry for me most of the times. And because I know for the few people that I had to tell them, oh, this is what I'm not feeling too well, I don't want to get out of bed, because they don't know the magnitude or the extent to which depression can push you to. The response of, oh, you're strong, snap out of it, you're stronger than that, just pray over it, believe in God, God is going to do, that is not what I needed to hear at the time. And at this point, you're trying to tell people about an experience that they've not experienced. You cannot even tell them what to tell you at the time, because when you're depressed, you just automatically want to hear people tell you nice things. You want people to be extra careful with the things they say to you. And the things they say to you, they don't say it out of hate. They love you. They're trying to be there for you, but they're just saying the wrong things. And so it's not helping you in any way. If someone in your community said snap out of it, it's because they really want you to get out of that situation. But snap out of it when you're majorly depressed, no. It's just like telling someone who is in prison that, and then the key has been put in a sea. You're telling that person in prison, get the key, go and get the keys out from the sea and come and set yourself free, which is an impossibility, because that's what snap out of it sounds to me when I was depressed. So the support was there, but it's how that support was given. That is the problem with someone who is experiencing the illness. They don't do it intentionally, but it's just that, like I said, my hope is for everyone to understand, especially what to say to someone who is in that illness, because what you say to someone who is mentally ill has a vital role to play in their recovery process. Because when you say the wrong things, you further depress them. When you say the things that they don't want to hear, they just stay in that mood. And they like, if you tell someone snap out of it, pray to God, these are possibilities, these are things that are not possible to them at the time. They give up on themselves. Because I left in 2016, I had worked out my body to size 8. I went to hospital in November, and I left the hospital with a size 16 body. That is November to December. So this is me coming out from hospital, a completely new person. I'm already depressed with the image that I'm seeing in the mirror. And so for someone now who will want to help me, someone in my community who wants to help me, they're doing the best. Oh, you did this before, you can do it again. Oh, you can do it, it's all in your head, just, I went to hospital in a size 8 body. If I'm coming out with a size 6 body, it's because I cannot help myself. Because you lose every interest in everything. No, when I say I used to count, it's not literally I used to count 1 to 100 in my head to get a leg out of my bed. I remember calling a friend, and I'm writing, if I have to cook, what do I have to put in the pot first? She said tomato. I said, okay, I'll put it. That means that she's instructing me how to cook over the phone. What should I put next to onion? I'll put. What should I put next? That is how bad it was. I had an alarm clock to wake me up. I had an alarm clock to drop my kids off at school. I had an alarm clock to wake up from that chair. I had that chair. I wake up from bed, give them food, lie on that chair. The alarm clock rings. I just take them to school, come back on that chair. That was my life for the whole year. So the support was there, but the problem was how the support was given. Due to the ignorance and equally That's the reason why we are here, to give that awareness, so people know that, not that the support is not there, but it's the way the support is being given that it becomes a problem that we need to be aware about, and equally more conscious about, especially towards our loved ones who are experiencing mental illness.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yes, we need to be aware, we need to be conscious, and also we need to know, we need to understand exactly what mental health issues are, how they affect individuals, and how to support others struggling with their mental health. Awareness is vital. Understanding, acceptance, and love are others which we need to give to individuals struggling. Now, another question which I have to ask you, how can we educate families and friends about mental health illnesses, given the fact that it is a taboo topic in our communities, given that sometimes it is people see a mental health illness as a demon, as you being possessed by demons or by the evil spirit, and it has to be cast out. So how do you raise awareness? I know you are already doing it, but how can we educate people more? What about our grandparents in the village who probably may have struggled with their mental health at some point in their lives, but had no idea about? How would you talk to them about mental health problems?
To be honest, what I think the community or people in our community need to do, especially I've had people contacting me about their mental health, because if we don't speak up, especially those who have experienced it, I think people can reach out to me now or comfortable talking to me about their mental health illness or issues, is because I've told them this is what I went through.
Yeah.
I am not ashamed telling anyone that I've been in a mental health institution. Like, this is okay, this is normal. It's just like you having malaria, it's just like you having typhoid and going into hospital. So if we get to that point where we have many more people speaking up, because the fact that people don't want to talk about mental health illness is because that stigma and that taboo that it has been stigmatized in our community. So it makes it impossible for people who are going through the illness to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, now they are willing to talk about it, but now how is the public, how are our relatives receiving the news?
Yeah.
How are they taking the situation? Because this is someone who is ready to talk about their mental health illness to you as a relative, and then you say, oh, I'll say it in pidgin, maybe you be the first man for get mental health, for get depression.
Yeah.
You know depression, you know what they call and say depression. And most of the time, the people asking these questions have not experienced this illness themselves.
Yeah.
So they are downplaying on your emotions, they're downplaying on your pain. And to me, honestly, our grandparents lived in an era where there was superstition. We blamed everything to the demon. We blamed, because talking of this thing about demon, there was someone, I remember in 2018, I put my story out there equally to say I was mentally ill. I wanted to start this awareness, but unfortunately I went back into hospital.
Yeah.
And it took me longer up to this point that I have finally spoken up. Then I didn't even tell anybody I was in a mental institution and stuff like that. And one day this girl, she came and sent me a message inbox, and she was like, oh, I've been seeing how you're very happy. How can I help my mental health? This is even before me telling my story. Do you think your mental illness could have been because of you were possessed or something? And then I said, do you think your own mental health issues that you're suffering at the moment, do you think you're being possessed? She said, oh yeah, she thinks it's some kind of an evil spirit and stuff. I said to her, anyway, sorry, it's not an evil spirit for me, because I know what is causing my mental health illness. I know. And it's relatively physical, like things you can see. It's just normal realities of life. Mental illness comes from stress. It comes from childhood trauma. It comes from a place of pain.
Yeah.
So how do I associate my mental health illness to a demonic witchcraft something when I know I have been going through trauma and pain for too long, and I can feel the weight of it in my head that has broken me mentally? So how do I give that credit to the devil? How do I say I am being possessed by the demon or something like that? So our parents grew up in that era, or our great grandparents grew up in that era where everything was superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to change that mentality, it's going to be something that it's going to be upon us of this generation to realize that there's certain issues, that the problems in our lives, the trauma, the experiences that have to do with pain, most of the times are the causes to our mental health issues. And so if we have that shift of mind and people start to identify the things that mental illness are the things that make you unhappy. If you're not happy, you become stressed. That's why everyone goes through mental issues. Not everyone experiences mental health illness, but everyone experiences mental health issues. At one point in our lives, everyone becomes depressed, stressed, depressed, yeah, and anxious. Those are mental health issues.
Yeah.
But not everyone becomes psychotic, which is the next level. Not everyone becomes majorly depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone becomes suicidal. Not everyone. And so if our parents, because like I said, they live in an era where everything was blamed to the demon, everything was witchcraft, now it's left for us in this generation to realize that we need a shift of mind to say these things are not demonic, but they are realities of our day-to-day lives, and we try to look at them with a rational mind rather than a superstitious mind. That's just what I think.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, Pei. A mindset shift is absolutely important as far as mental health is concerned. People say what they say because of ignorance on what Pei has said. People have developed that evil spirit mentality that someone suffering with a mental health problem is probably the person has been bewitched in their village, or the gods are not happy with them. They have to go and do a sacrifice somewhere, or they've got to go to church and pray overnight, all night vigil with pastors, for pastors to be able to cast out the demons in them. Prayers can actually help. However, they say God cannot help those who cannot help themselves. So if you like, you can spend 24 hours, 365 days in the church because of your mental health illness without doing any other thing. I'm not sure you will get better. So there are things you have to do. You have to work on yourself. People should change the mentality that it is caused by witchcraft. Knowing the root cause of your depression or of your mental health problem is a step towards recovery. Because when you know exactly what is it that is causing you to feel the way you are feeling, that is causing you to feel worthless about yourself, to look at yourself like you don't mean anything. What is it that has caused you not to have interest in some of those pleasurable things that you used to do? What is it that is making you not feel like getting out of bed in the morning, or not wanting to talk to anyone?
Sorry.
Yeah.
When it comes to major depression, sorry that I cut you short just so I don't forget.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in the state of major depression, you cannot know the causes of you cannot, like, you are in a different mindset.
Yeah.
You cannot even understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yes.
Because you even question people. Why? I remember asking a friend, why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Like, you want someone else to even tell you why you are feeling the way, because you don't even understand why you're feeling the way you're feeling.
Yeah.
So my advice before you go on is, identify, when you hear about mental illness and you identify some of the places where you think, oh, I could be mentally ill, before it gets serious, that's before it gets aggravated. Identify those things that don't make you happy.
Yeah.
Because from depression, it goes to the next level of depression. We have, I think, 4 types of depression. Before it goes to that point where you need to ask your neighbor, why am I feeling the way I am feeling? Because at that point you cannot know what. Now I know because I am in the right state of mind. When I'm psychotic, you are not making sense to me.
Yes.
And I'm not making sense to you. Both of us are mad. Because you're looking at me that I'm crazy, I'm looking at you that you're crazy. So in that state of mind, I am superstitious. I feel like I've got powers to heal the world.
Yes.
So in that state of mind, I cannot even reason to think that I have any issues. So it's in your right mind that you have to identify those things that don't make you happy. You have to start learning how to love yourself and do the things that will make you happy before it becomes critical.
So you've, I think in one of our conversations, you actually mentioned that that the power is in our hands to change our lives. Have you ever thought? Have you always thought? Have you always had this thought? Have you always felt this way, that to change, we are the ones to make that conscious, deliberate decision?
Growing up as a young girl, I have always made a lot of decisions about my life by myself when it comes to very important decisions. And I grew up in a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, and growing up, I've always wanted this validation from people to say, oh, you know, give me the credit for things or make me feel the gap of the pain or the things that I've always wanted or wished to have in my life. But now I realize that the main cause of my mental illness have to do a lot with me sitting and waiting for people to, you know, fill the space that is void, validate me as a person, make me feel important. And when I sat with myself and I had to have that mindset shift, and then I realized that, listen, I think I know the reasons to why I am ill in the first place. I know the causes. And then I'm asking myself, when I stay awake, when I'm not sleeping, and I'm thinking about these things, what is it causing? What is it happen? What does it do to me? It keeps me awake. I develop insomnia. I can't sleep. I have headaches. I carry sleeplessness into the other night. When I sit and I feel worried about the people that I think should validate me, and that I am not validated by them, what happens? They are sleeping, their lives are going on. When I sit with the problems and then I'm thinking, I'm awake. This is me talking to myself. And then I realize that I think I need to start telling myself the things that I want. I need to start validating myself because I have waited too long and hoping to, you know, fill those gaps, those spaces and all of that. It's not happening. I keep relapsing. I keep going back into a mental health institution. Medication works, don't get me wrong. It numbs the signs and symptoms, but you do the work. You do the rest of the work, and it's you who have to do this conscious, you know, you have to take this conscious step of yours to do the inner work. Because if you don't do it by identifying with the things that don't serve you, you keep going back into a mental health institute, into a mental health state. I suffer from anxiety. I still do. But now, because I am conscious, I know my triggers, I know the things that will trigger me. I know how to avoid those things. Sometimes by human nature, I might face some of them, but I know how to go around my anxiety.
Yeah.
So that is me now teaching myself how to love myself.
Yeah.
And life is going better for me.
Yeah.
And that's my hope as well for anyone out there who is experiencing any mental health issues, that it's hard to get out of the state of depression, but you will definitely get there. And once you get there, you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself serious, conscious questions to get yourself out of your mental illness or your mental health issues.
Yeah. And thank you so much for that. And remember as well, you have to grieve when you are struggling with mental health problem. You go through those stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, obviously the depression itself, before you get to that point of acceptance. And even after recovery, you also have to grieve those things that you didn't do, grieve those things or those friends or the friends that you lost during the period that you were struggling. And then you also try to reconnect with those who are still there, those who were there, or those whom you had lost, or reconnect with the things that you had lost interest in. I just want to use this moment to appreciate each and every one of you watching for taking up your precious time to listen to Pay's story, because it's a story of hope. It's a story of inspiration. Here at the Voice of Hope Media, we educate, we empower, we inspire, and we give hope to those who are facing challenging and complex life issues, including special educational needs. Like I said before, to be able to speak up, speak out, knowing that they will be heard and they won't be judged or stigmatized. Because we know that every experience lived is valuable, it is worthy, and it has the power to transform your lives. And how can that happen? It happens only if you give that experience a voice. And when you give a voice to those experiences, you are indirectly healing yourself, you are indirectly healing someone out there, you are indirectly telling someone out there that there is hope. It doesn't end there. Being mentally depressed or having a mental health problem, there is more that you can do. And I said before, it is our responsibility, yes. We have to be the ones to make that decision, to sit up, to say, I am not going to stay on this bed. I am not going to continue being angry. I am not going to continue expecting others to validate me or to tell me who I am, or whatever expectations you have from people or from things around you, and to be able to change that mindset. That is our individuals, that is our friends, our relatives, our community. We have to be accommodating. We have to be accepting, understanding, and loving for everyone, anyone who has a mental health issue or a mental health problem. It is not written on the face.
No.
It is not a physical condition. However, it is equally as important as a physical condition. So when someone comes to you and tells you, I am struggling, please give them a listening ear. When someone tells you, I am tired, I don't feel like doing anything today, do not say they are lazy. Listen, probably you can encourage them to have a rest. You can encourage them to do something that will make them happy. Just before we continue, I'm just going to play a short video, one of Pay's videos, one of her empowering videos, which she shared. It's very powerful. It is from a place of someone who has been broken before, but she's picked up her pieces. Then she fixed her crown. And then she's walking and smiling, shoulders high, chest out. What have you? So stay tuned, guys. We are going to watch a video right now. And that's a queen. So we share these stories here at the Voice of Hope Media for you to know that wherever you are, even if you've been broken, you can still pick up your pieces and start again. It's never too late. It is never. All of us sitting here, Pei and myself, we've gone through things, we've gone through experiences that could have killed us. But we conquered them and we rise. And we are still rising and we will rise. Here's another video for you.
I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown him out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me. When the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown mine. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be. This is me.
That's powerful. And that is the queen that is in each and every one of us if you're a lady. And there's a king in each and every one of us if you're a man. But occasionally we get broken, we fall. Do we have to stay there when we've fallen? We have to look for ways to stand up and continue our journey. So we are gradually getting towards the end of our show today. However, we still want to appreciate each and every one of you for taking your time to watch and learn. I know that when you listen to shows here at the Voice of Hope Media, you learn and you unlearn some of the things you've known about that particular topic. And I know you watching, you've learned one thing and you've unlearned another thing. We still encourage you to share, invite your friends and let them know about Let's Give You the Voice edition here at the Voice of Hope Media, because we give a voice to those issues which people think you don't have to talk about them in public. Be it depression, be it disability, be it child loss, be it grief, bereavement, we give a voice to those issues in a manner to educate, to empower, to inspire, and give hope to those who have experienced them, so that they should be able to seek the help that they need, so that they should be aware of what they are going through. Because oftentimes, many have struggled with their mental health without actually knowing that they are struggling, without actually being aware of what exactly the problem is. But when you hear stories like Pei's stories, you try to relate to yours and you say, okay, so the way I've been feeling, maybe I am struggling with my mental health. And that's when you have to start thinking, do I need to see someone? Do I need to speak to someone, to a professional? Or do I need to speak to a trusted friend who will listen and who will not judge me? Now, Pei, how do you manage your mental health in order to stay healthy?
Every time I've had a breakdown, every time I've been into the mental institution, come back and suffered from a major depression or anxiety, I've always taken into exercising.
Yeah.
It's always boosted my mental health. Every time I don't do it, now I am conscious of the fact that if I cannot do it, that is me going towards depression.
Mm-hmm.
That is me losing the fight. And every time I get that feeling of just lie in bed, no, I wake up and off I go. So I keep myself busy with exercising a lot because it helps to boost my mental and just keep me happy. And equally doing the things that I like, just like dancing, pictures I can snap every day, every minute. So I just do the things that I like, basically, to be honest, to keep me going. And I'm a happy person, so I just love being happy and equally making others to feel better with it themselves.
Yeah, I actually read somewhere, this may sound funny, I actually read somewhere on an article online that the number of of selfies that, that someone takes, maybe an indication that the person is depressed.
No.
So I don't actually know how true that is, but oftentimes when you are struggling with your mental health, you lose self-confidence, self-worth. You don't feel like anything. You actually doubt yourself. You doubt everything about you. You don't feel like you are appreciated. And there was a time all I needed was someone to look at me and say, oh, you look good, physically. And then you make sure you have a very nice dress, nice pair of shoes that you put on, or maybe makeup and good hairdo, just because you want to feel good from the outside. However, you may feel good from the outside, but what's happening within? So someone, you once wrote on one of your posts that you thought healthcare meant buying beautiful clothes to cover the hurt and pain. It's so powerful. How is that?
You know, I felt like I've got this pain within me. But on every post, because I laugh or I smile a lot. Smiling, being jovial has always been like a mask to my pain. That's something I developed at a very young age, to just laugh at myself, for myself, with people. And I always want to be in that environment where I make everyone feel comfortable. Like, I always put myself in people's shoes because I've experienced so much pain, so much so that I just always feel like everyone is going through something. Just, make the environment happy, because you might never know what people are going through, because people never knew what I was going through. So they identified with the happy me, and no one could associate me to brokenness. And so I always looked good, as I would say. I always looked happy. So that is me clothing the pain, disguising the pain, making the pain look beautiful. But when I looked around and I saw a lot, like, you see a lot of things going wrong, people committing suicide. And I take this now to my very good friend that I lost in 2008, in 2019, when I was experiencing a major depression. The audio note, the conversations that we had at the time. I'd been off Facebook for a year. And for me to wake up this morning, and the first image that greeted me that morning was a rest in peace. I was divided into 1,000 pieces within me, already broken with my mental illness. And that day I said to myself, it only takes time, but once I get on my feet again, the beauty, because people want to protect their image. I wanted to protect my image, to like, oh, she's always looking good, she has no issues, da 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 da. But how was that serving me? It wasn't serving me any good. I could see people around. I have lost my dear sister, as I will put it, to mental illness. But the community, someone mentioned to me, even when she was experiencing psychosis back in Cameroon, that it don't go put your hand for some side. It get it.
Oh dear.
It didn't get it. And this is someone that we used to talk about our medications. What medications I was taking. Have you checked this in the pharmacies in Cameroon? Do you think the doctors will let you take this and stuff and stuff and stuff? And then she dies. And then you have the rumors of, you don't put your hand for some place, if they suffer it. And she finally died of a common illness that people talked about it. No one ever made mention of mental illness, because no one cared. I'll put it that way. No one took her seriously. No one understood. People stigmatized her illness. People gave her illness other names. They did not even want to call it as it was, because it's a taboo to say she was psychotic, which it's assumed for someone to be mad. And so I just realized, what is the point of life? Me putting clothes on, I'm making my pain look beautiful. People need to speak about their pain and feel better, not me making my pain look beautiful and then watch people die. when I can use my story to, you know, empower someone out there and make them feel better within themselves and equally. Because if I make one person feel better within themselves, that's that one person empowering another person.
Yeah.
Because just yesterday, someone got to me and she said, I have told this person to get to you because I think you can help her. She's presenting her problem and again sending some other person. That is her empowering someone else who is going through the same thing that she's experiencing. Exactly. And I think that's the importance of me not beautifying my pain, but you know, speaking up and just to help someone out there.
Well, that's very powerful. Do not beautify your pain by with fancy
because the
clothes.
internet now, we only show the beautiful pictures.
Exactly.
We don't show what's happening at the back of the scene. I'll come out there, I put a beautiful smile, and you know, when my friend died, right, another friend of ours came and said, someone made a comment that now Wuna, someone, I think someone said this directly to me. Now don't make her ego die. I was like, I don't understand. Because the picture, the one I just put up when I just put up the internet, now you don't make her look and be a traumatized go die. In a way, I felt it like, you know, we just come, but for real, sometimes we just put those pictures there. We put pictures, you put beautiful pictures of you, and you're indirectly traumatizing someone without knowing. But it doesn't mean people shouldn't live their lives, but it means we should, you know, check on our loved ones, and equally check how they're doing, because you cannot control people on how to live their lives. But if we can, as a community, you know, be conscious sometimes of not only showing the beautiful side of us, and equally a bit of vulnerability can help someone out there, I think it's going to be a great society that we all create.
Yeah, being vulnerable and being able to seek help is not a sign of weakness. As Prince Harry said a few days ago, that is actually strength when you stand up and you say, okay, I am not feeling okay. I need to seek help. I need to speak to someone because I am not okay. Thank you guys for watching. Again, we are gradually getting to the end of our show. You are tuned live on Facebook at the Voice of Hope Media with AC Mbeng, and also on our YouTube channel, the Voice of Hope Media. And our special guest today is Patience Abonge, sharing her lived experiences with mental health illnesses. Today, she's not sharing them as a broken person, but as someone who picked up her pieces, fixed her crown, and now she's walking and doing the talk, sharing her experiences to inspire others to do the same and to be able to seek the help that they need. Now, for our final question for today, babe, what message would you like to send to women and others who are still hiding in shame about their mental illness? I mean, women and men, we all know that men hardly speak about their mental health problems because they want to be strong for others, they want to be brave. What would you tell them?
I think I put out a post the other day. I think the men suffer more when it comes to mental health illness or mental health issues. We don't realize that the men suffer more because the women appear to be more vulnerable. And our culture, our community, our society have taught the men to be strong, or think their strength comes from them being a man, by not showing your broken side, by not crying, by not revealing to the world that you're going through pain, and then internalize all of that pain, and then a breakdown mentally, whereby, you know, because mental health is in the mind, we don't see it, and so it's ignored. I think the men suffer more than the women. We even cry, we say it out, sometimes we cry, because crying to me is a form of recovery, or a form of really healing, and healing the pain within you. So my advice to the women is, first, identify with those things that don't serve you. Well, before it becomes too late. Those things that make you unhappy. My advice to women is do not wait to be validated by anybody. If you want anybody to validate you, you need to validate your own self first. You need to tell people how you want to be treated, because a lot of our pain and issues as women, as I think, or for myself, is we wait on people to tell us we look beautiful. We wait on people to tell us, yeah, you can do it. We doubt ourselves. And when you don't have the self-confidence, and someone does not tell you that you look good, you can do it, you doubt yourself. But once you have this confidence that I can do it, I am enough, I am capable, trust me, you step into that mental space where you just feel happy within yourself. So women, validate yourself, be happy for who you are, and do not let anything, when I stress on anything, I mean it, do not let anything take away your sleep. And sleep is very important. Sleep is very important. The first time I went to the mental institution, I lacked sleep. And for 3 weeks that I was in the mental institution, I didn't sleep. If I slept, that was 1 hour in a day. So the sleep did not help me. And sleeplessness, sleeplessness now has to do with the things that keep you awake. So make sure you prioritize your sleep and just be happy. And yeah, and for the men, I think you need to be a little more vulnerable. Let the people around you know how you feel. It's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength for people to know how you feel. Because if you don't let people know how you feel, people cannot get into your mind to actually know how you feel. I think being vulnerable helps when it comes to your mental health illness. Because since I put out my story, if I tell you that I sleep in peace and not pieces like I used to do before, you might think I'm joking, but that is the reality. Because I know I have a community of people, of women looking up to me, because I have people sending me messages. And honestly, I am equally open for you or to anyone out there who needs my support on how to go about their day if they're not feeling happy, or just need someone to talk to, someone who can understand you from your place or from where you're coming from. I have that time for you. So you can always reach out to me on my Facebook and send me a message, and I'll be there for you.
And also, if you need to do your hair, there's Afro Touch here on Facebook. Can you see that? If you need to do your makeup, Afro Touch is right there for you. You just need to send her a message in order to get glammed or to look beautiful. Yeah, sometimes you may not feel good within, but it helps when you look good. And then when you look good from the outside, you continue working from the inside as well. You cannot join the two together, feeling awful within and then looking awful outside.
But I think you need to do the work from within.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, right, when I was broken, the world didn't see me broken. No. But when I look at my pictures, I could see brokenness.
Yes.
Looking at that picture, people did not see it because they knew me to be this jovial, happy person. If I put my recent pictures that I take now and the ones I took before, you see the difference.
Yes.
I was smiling in both pictures, but one looks broken and the other one really looks happy from within. So that is why I came up with the phrase that I was clothing my pain. You didn't see me because you were focused on the beautiful picture. But I could see pain in my eyes that you couldn't see. But because the pain was beautifully dressed, you couldn't see the pain. So before you dress your pain, heal the pain so that when you dress it, it looks absolutely beautiful.
Amazing. That's good. Yeah. So before you cloth your pain, you make sure you work within, you heal your inside. Then before any other thing shows on the outside. Thank you once more, guys, for watching. We are so sorry we couldn't put all your comments on the screen today. We are using a mobile device and we didn't want to keep crossing our hands on the screen. However, if you have any question or there's anything you'd like to know more about patients.
Oh, sorry. Next week on Sunday, I'll be going live on my, I don't know which page yet, but I'll announce that.
Okay.
So actually, end the month of mental health illness, because I would tell you guys from my own point of view on my page, so you can still follow next Sunday on my live to still be connected to me.
Before you go, I'd like you to say something about Free Minds Foundation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the birthplace of our discussion today, PACE discussion today. Come on.
Tell us. Before I created this foundation, I had taken autism with patients, which was basically creating awareness about autism worldwide, which was equally, it was still you. Like I said, you've always been a role model. When I was in Germany and my son was autistic, and I saw you doing these great things on Facebook. And to be honest, when I had autism, it was you that first of all came to my mind. So when I came and I started experiencing issues around autism, and I was like, you know what, like I said, when more people speak about these issues, this is a problem in our community, in our society, that people need to be aware about. And these things have to do with mental health. So I created that page for that purpose. But then that was in 2016 that I created. In October, then I went into hospital in November. And that was the end of that page till this year. And a lot of people wrote to me, oh, you were great, why did you not come back? But I couldn't tell people that. I was still stigmatized by telling people I was silent because I was in a mental institution. I was depressed, I was anxious, I couldn't say anything. So now I've come back from the hospital, and I was thinking to myself, like, this issue of mental illness is something that it's in our community. A lot of people suffer from a lot of things that have to do with mental illness, be it violence, be it trauma, be it neglect, be it abuse. Like, so many things have to do with mental health illness that we need to talk about in our community. And so I decided that I think I need a platform where people can, share their experiences, so we all can learn from these experiences and make our community a better place, and to make these topics that we see them as a taboo topic and topics that we don't need to talk about, that it is okay for us to talk about these things and equally create that awareness out there and just make a better society. So the Free Minds Foundation is all about motivating people and equally creating a safe space for people to share their experiences, so we all can learn and just make a difference in our society, to be honest.
Thank you so much. Much necessary space that we all need. We need many more mental health advocates out there. We need so many of you to be able to speak up and speak out. Many are still struggling in silence. Back in Africa, there is just so much that has to be done. And I'm sure with the creation of Free Minds Foundation, it is a stepping stone to bridging that gap in mental health in Africa and in Cameroon for a start, and then Africa worldwide. We pray that each and every one of you, you've learned something today, and that you will share with your friends and family members. And then if you have a burning topic that you'd like to talk about, and you are struggling with, and it is one of those topics where people have told you, do not talk about it. It has to be hidden. It has to be placed under the carpet. The Voice of Hope Media is here to give you the voice. So you've been listening to AC Mbeng as host today at the Voice of Hope Media, and then our guest, Patience. I think the rules of lockdown and social distancing
It's over.
Yeah, it's over. So we can at least hug each other. How's that? Please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for coming on the show today. Well, guys, if you're sitting with someone there,
Give them a hug.
Give them a hug, please, because this is something with so much.
Oh, tell me about it. I was
missed.
so happy when we had to do this live because it would have been virtual, and it's been a frustrating 1 year. So yeah, thank God.
But here we are, smiling, hugging, and then creating awareness on mental health illnesses. It's AC. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and the theme for this year is nature. So what are you doing? Have you been out today in the gardens? Did you plant your njama? If you're from Cameroon, did you go out for a walk in the park? Did you listen to the birds? Did you maybe just mow your lawn? That is nature. There are things to do out there, and statistics show that nature has a huge role, positive role to play as far as our mental health is concerned. And after this show, we are going out to the park, to the garden for
our mental health. And
and
like I told you, taking pictures makes me happy.
Yes,
so,
that's part of nature, and we are actually taking care of our mental health. So take care, guys. It's been a pleasure having you all today, and we love you always. Thank you so much, and bye for now. Bye for now. That's good.
Let's get to the next agenda on the list.
When you